Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Saad Sangat Ji, welcome to the first episode of the Charitropakhyan series. This first episode will correlate with the first Charitar within the collection of 405 Charitars of Charitropakhyan. In this Charitar, Guru Sahib Ji devotes himself to the physical, metaphysical Swaroop form of Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, and they also explain their intentions of writing this composition, this voluminous composition called Sri Charitropakhyan. Maharaj starts with the Mangla Charan, Ek Oankar Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, which means that Ik, that Paramatma, that Parameshwar, that Vaheguru Ji, that Creator is one, who is personified, who expands throughout this creation, through this nod, through this tuni, through this music, you can say, of Oankar. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh means that all victory belongs to that Creator, belongs to Vaheguru Ji. Sri Pagoti E Nameh. Nameh means to bow down, Namaskar. I bow down to Sri Pagoti. I bow down to the Shakti, to the personification, to the creative energy of that Creator. Is seen as an entity that has two parts. One being the Nirgun. Nirgun means that Swaroop that you cannot see. That form that you cannot hear, it does not come into the confinement of any of our senses. That's called Nirgun. Then there's a form of that same Creator called Sargun. Now Sargun is what comes into our senses. Sargun is what can be experienced through this human body. Maharaj says Sargun Nirgun Aap, Sargun Pi Ohi, Kalatar Jin Sagli Mohi. So that Vaheguru Ji, that Swaroop of Paramatma, which is both Sargun and Nirgun. That Swaroop that is Nirgun, that cannot be seen, is also Sargun, that can be seen. As in whatever we see all around us is also that Creator as well, being manifested. Yeah. So Guru Sahib is saying that I bow down to that Creator who manifests in the physical. Athapakhyan Charitar Likhyate. This is a very important line, Saad Sangat Ji. Ath means now. Now, the last word Likhyate means writing down. I now write down this composition. They named the composition here Pakhyan Charitar. I am now writing down this composition called Pakhyan Charitar. Pakhyan Charitar. What does this mean? Let's break this word up. Charitar literally means a tale, a play. It can also mean a painting. Pakhyan means to expand upon. Pakhyan means to explain. Pakhyan means to elaborate. Charitar Pakhyan or Pakhyan Charitar means a play that is expanded upon, a play that is explained. Now, the word Charitar has three modes, has three natures to it. Three types of natures to it. Just like all of sansar, all of creation that is physical has three forms of nature, three modes of nature, you can say. Satagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. Satagun means that type of energy that is very positive, that is very light in nature, that you can say harvests qualities like contentment, love, happiness. These type of things we'll call Satagun. If we look at even time of day, early morning, Amrit Vela is considered Satagun time. Foods that are green, that are light, are considered Satagun. So Satagun just means a mode of nature, a quality of that personification of the Creator, which is in the form of lightness, the form of righteousness. Now, moving on to Rajagun. Rajagun is action, is desires, is moving. Yeah, Rajagun is that time, you can say, when the sun is fully up at its peak, 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m. That time when it is its highest. Just like an adult, when they reach 30, 35, they have their youth, but they also have the highest wisdom they can receive in their youth as well. They are the highest form of adulthood. And from there on, they will go down. Their age, as their age goes older of an adult, their body will start to wither away. Their body will start to decrease its ability of strength, of movement, such and such. So Rajagun is the height, you can say, of movement, of desires, of aspirations. That's called Rajagun. You can see Rajagun as like a fire. Now Tamagun is laziness, tiredness. Tamagun is now when the sun is setting, you are tired, you come home, you just want to watch a movie, you don't want to do anything. Yeah. That's Tamagun. Tamagun meaning ignorance. Yeah. So if we were to put qualities within Rajagun, it would be lust, right? Anger. Yeah. If you were to put a face to Rajagun, that's how it would look like. Tamagun is now just ignorance, avidya, not knowing. Yeah. Just filled with a state of, you could say, a vegetable state. Yeah. So these are three modes of nature. Maharaj says, Charitropakhyan, the word Charitra we were looking at, Charitra can fall into these three places. So when we use the word Charitra now, it depends on what type of Charitra is being played here. Yeah. So Charitra can be a form of deception. Yeah. But deception can also be good, Sattvagun. It can be for a selfish need, Rajagun. And it could be straight up bad. It could be straight up to kill someone else for your own gain. Yeah. So Tamagun, it can be associated with murder, can be associated with killing. Yeah. Wherein Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains these three as well. When they say Asank Jap, Asank Paho, Asank Puja, Asank Taptao, that is describing the quality within nature that is Sattvagun. And we know it's describing nature because at the very end, the Maharaj says, Kudrat kavan kahan vichar. The word Kudrat comes up. Kudrat is just a synonym for Pagoti. The word Pagoti came up before, right? Siddhi Pagoti e nam hai. So Pagoti is just a synonym of Kudrat, right? And if I can describe to you how this works, it will be like this. Nirgun, Sargun. Okay, you have two sides here. You have Nirgun and you have Sargun. Nirgun, that Parameshwar Vaheguru you cannot see. Sargun, that you can see, that's manifested in this world, in this universe, everything that comes into the elements, Sargun. And listen to the word Gun, right? We were talking about Rajagun, Tamagun. So Gun literally means a mode, yeah, quality. Sar means all, having all the qualities. Nir means without. Nirgun means having none of these qualities, okay? Nirgun, Sargun. Now, in different traditions, they have different ways of saying the same thing. So, in a different tradition, they will say Bhagavant instead of Nirgun, and talking about the manifestation of Nirgun within the physical. The manifestation of the metaphysical within the physical will be Bhagoti. Okay, so same is just a synonym for the same concept. Now let's take it a step further. Brahm, another word for Nirgun, Brahm. And another word for Sargun in that tradition, Maya. Okay, Maya. Now we always say Maya is bad, but Maya is not always bad. Maya just literally means Sargun, same thing as Pagoti. It depends on the mode we're talking about. Okay. Now Qadar, another tradition will call Nirgun Qadar, and that same tradition will call that manifestation of Sargun Qudrat. Okay, Qadar and Qudrat. Now it makes sense when Guru Nanak says Qudrat kavan kahan vichar. How can I do vichar? How can I contemplate your Shakti? How can I contemplate your manifestation? Now, last one. Shakta for Nirgun and Shakti for Sargun. Okay? Another one in English, Nirgun will be masculine, a masculine energy. And Sargun will be feminine energy. Okay? So, the concept of these three plays a huge role with understanding the word Tritra. Okay? The word Pakhyan, like I said, it means to explain, to elaborate. Yeah. Guru Sahib is going to elaborate the forms of Tritra, yeah, played by humankind. Yeah. And within these stories, I just want to quote here one of the scholars who have done a lot of work within Charitropakhyan, Gyani Bishan Singh. Gyani Bishan Singh says, when I read these Charitras, I go into a state of samadhi. I lose my sense of time. When I read these stories, he says, my mind goes in such a state of bliss, and it's hard for me to get out. He said, on one hand I have my pothi, On the other hand, I have food right in front of me to eat. Hours go by and I lose my sense of time while reading these tales. Yeah. So he describes these tales. He says these tales are about bravery, about dharam, about righteousness, about the courage of those men and women that have fought their lust, anger, greed, pride, and attachment. These stories are meant to instill that sense of courage, that sense of faith, that sense of bravery within us as well. Okay, so we continue on now. Padshahi Dasvi. Padshahi Dasvi literally means Padshahi. Shahi means Shah, a king. Pad means Raj Singhasan, the throne. Shahi is the person who sits on the throne. Padshahi, the one who sits on the throne. In this case, Padshahi Dasmi. Dasmi means the 10th. The 10th king who sits on the throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. That's what Padshahi Dasmi means. Okay, now we're going to look at the first stanza here. Tu hi khadg tara, tu hi baad vari, tu hi tir tarwar, kati kattari, halabbi junabbi maghribi tu hi hai, niharo jahan aap thadi wahi hai. Wow. Guru Sahib says that Bhagoti, the manifestation of Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, you come in the form of all these different weapons. These various weapons are a personification of your energy. O Divine Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, these weapons are a personification of your energy. What are those weapons? Khadg Tara, the khadg. Baad Vari, the talwar. Tuhi Tir Tarwar, Kati Kattari. You are the Kati, you are the Kattar, you are the Tir, you are the Tarwar. These are all different types of weapons. Halabbi, Junabbi, Maghribi, Tuhi hai. You are these weapons from different various areas around the world, like Syria, Armenia, Iran. Neharo jahan aap thadi wahi hai. Wherever I look, I see you there. Wherever I look, I see you there. Now, let me take that concept that we just talked about, Bhagoti. Okay? That Shakti, that Kudrat, that Maya, that energy that we just talked about. Now, you need to understand that for different types of people, that energy will be manifested differently. Yes, everything we see around us is Sargun, but it's hard to harness, it's hard to focus onto one, it's hard to focus on everything being Sargun. But it's easier to focus on one niche, or that niche is focused on the type of intellect you have. For example, if you are a Gristi, you are a family owner. For a family owner, money is seen as the form of God. Money is seen as the form of Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi. Energy we talk about of being Sargun, Bhagoti, and all these things we just talked about is feminine in nature. So within India, the Indian cultures have described it to be like a Ma, a mother. Yeah, and so when they refer to money, they'll say Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi, right? Now, if you talk to a Vidwan, a scholar, for a scholar, and they will say, my book, my pothi, my kitab is everything. Yeah, why? Because I'm learning from, this is a form of God for me. Money is it, but this kitab is, this pothi is. Yeah, so if you ask them, they'll say Ma Swarasti. You know, they'll call the energy of the creator Ma Swarasti. Yeah? Because Swarasti represents Vidya, represents knowledge, just like Lakshmi represented money, Daulat, Tan, Paisa. Now, for a warrior will raise their kirpan and say, this is my God, this is my Guru. That's why Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said, As kirpan khando kharg topak tabar artir, Saf sarohi sahthi, yehi hamare peer. They list out a bunch of weapons and they say, this is my peer. Peer is an Arabic word for the Sanskrit word guru, the English word teacher. For a warrior, their guru is a sword. For the warrior, the weapon is their guru. The weapon is their God. Yeah, and that is represented as Ma Chandi. Yeah, and that's why Guru Sahib has written so many stories, 3 stories or 3 compositions on Ma Chandi. Chandi Charitra, Chandi Charitra Duja, Chandi Diwar. The same story written in different types of poetry, in ballad form, in Savaye, in the Savaye Kabit form, in Chopes, different types of stanzas. Guru Sahib has written the same story out. Why? Why? Because that Chandi is a manifestation of the Kirpan. And the Kirpan is a manifestation of all these qualities of righteousness, of dharam, of being proactive, of defending one's religion by defending the innocent and the poor, those that can't defend themselves. The Kirpan is a symbol of that. And the Kirpan, then to give that a character, Guru Sahib says Ma Chandi. Ma Chandi is and the stories of Chandi are mythical stories, but they are creating this character of the Kirpan. They are creating a nature of the Kirpan. Sumana says, Niharo jahan aap thadi wahi, wherever I look, I see you. But for the warrior says, I see you everywhere, Maharaj. I see you in this sword. I see you in these weapons. So Guru Sahib is making a rosary of weapons. This is the first Charitra Sad Sangat Ji. Now, continuing on. Tuhi jog maya, tuhi bani, tuhi aap rupa, tuhi siri Bhavani. You are the power of meditation and speech. You are the beautiful form Bhavani. Bhavani is the form of Bhavani is another name for Chandi. Bhavani is another name for Ma Chandi, the one we just spoke about. Tu hi Bisan, tu Brahm, tu Rudra Raja, tu hi Biswa Mata, Sada Jai Baraja. You are Vishnu, you are Brahma, you are Shiva. And now these names, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, these are manifestation of those three qualities we talked about as well. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. These are also different manifestations of the same thing. It is just the same concept being here personified. Maharaj says, you are these beings as well. You are these concepts as well. And Tuhi Biswa Mata Sada Jai Baraja, you are the mother of all creation, living within victory. Tuhi Dev, tu that Jash Upaye, Tuhi Turk Hindu Jagat Mai Banai. You are the creator of all angelic and demonic beings. You created the good and the bad. You are the creator of the two sides, Hindu and Turk. Tuhi Pantha Hua Avtari, Srist Mahi, Tuhi Bagrat, Te Braham Bado Bakahi. You are the one who embodies all the religious and spiritual paths in creation. You are the creator of those who even dispute the divine. So you are the one who made the spiritual paths, but you're also the one who made the path of atheism as well, the one who disputes the divine. Tuhi Bikrata Rupa, Tuhi Char Nana. You are a terrifying form as well. When you need to save your bhagats, you take a terrifying form on of Narasingha. You take a terrifying form on to save your bhagats. Tuhi Char Nana, but you're also the beautiful one as well. You come in beautiful forms as well. Tuhi Roop Bala, Tuhi Bakar Bana. You are the beautiful, and you are the one with twisted speech. You are everything. Good and bad are just our subjective interpretations. Tuhi Bakarte Beer Charo Uchare, Tumi Somb Nesom Dano Sangare. You are the one who has spoken the four Veds from your mouth. You are the destroyers of the demons Somb and Nesom, referring to the stories of Ma Chandi. Jaga Jang Toso Pajay Pu Papari, Bade Chad Bana, Kaddi Bard Vadi. You give birth to the battle of Taram, which makes even the greatest kings run away. It scares them away. You destroy the enemies by shooting arrows and taking out your sword. Tuhi nar singh hua ka hirinach mario, tumi dad pa pum ko pahar taryo. You are the one who became Nar Singh and destroyed Hirnakish. And incarnating as Varaha in the form of a boar, you bore the weight of the earth. These are all different mythical stories from the Purans. Guru Sahib is saying that all these characters that came to save the world, to save Dharam, to save the bhagats, to save the devotees, you were all these different characters. Tumi Ram hua ka hathi dat kahyo, Tumi Krishna hua kans kesi khapayo. You manifested yourself as Ram and destroyed the demons Ravan. You manifested yourself as Krishna and destroyed Kans by his hair. Tumhe adarja byas bani pachhana, Tumi says ki aap seja banai. You are recognized as Parvati and the hymns of Rishi Vyas. You made the resting area of Sheshnag, referring to Vishnu. Tuhi Kesar Bhavani kya kahai. You are the rider of the lion, referring to Chandi. Now Guru Sahib goes to the battles of Chandi. They say, Toto sar kutan sir kya suhayo, Tuhi chand o mund dano khapayo. You look well suited with the cutting weapons in your hands. You have obliterated the demons of Chand and Mund. Tuhi rakat bijar so jud kino, Tuhi hath da rakh deve so lino. You are the one who had the war of Rakat Bij. Rakat Bij was the enemy of Chandi. You gave your hands to save the angelic beings. Now in praise of Ma Chandi, they say, Tumi dah dah ke davar ko bajayo, tuhi keh keh ke hasi jud payo. You beat the drums of war, you joyfully laugh whilst creating the battle. Tuhi ast haath mein astar tare, aja ja kite kes hote pachare. You have 8 arms, each holding a weapon, destroying warriors by grabbing their hair. तुही आपको नह कलंकी बना है, सबा ही मलेच्छान को नाश क्या है. You assume the form of Nekalanki avatar, in which you will destroy all of those that have caused all pain and sorrow within the world. Maya jan chero, maya mohe kija, choho chit mein jo, vah mohe dija. Mara says, O my mother, know me to be your child and be compassionate upon me. Bless me with whatever I desire. Illustration of Chandi. Guru Sahib illustrates Chandi. They say, Savaiya Mondaki mal disan ke ambar bam kareo gal mein as paro. Lochan lal karal de pado pahal berajat hai anyaro. This is the first Charitropakhyan Sangati. So Guru Sahib is going into a state of devotion. They're saying that Chandi, you're wearing the Rudraksha rosary and you're wearing clothes of air, holding a strong sword in your left hand. Your eyes are fearsome and sparkling bright. Your eyebrows on your forehead are sharp like arrows of spear. Chute hai bal maha bekaral bisal sarad pant ujyaro. Chadat jwal lae kar bryal so kal sada pratapal tiharo. Your terrifying hair scattered behind your back. Your 2 rows of teeth are shining. The snakes in your hands are breathing out fire. O Devi, your protector is Kalpurk himself. Now Maharaj describes the mission of Chandi. They say, Pan se tej payanak putaj pudar se jin ke dan pare. Shining like the sun, those demons who had the bodies the size of mountains. Pari goman pare man pitar pahar pare nehsi pag tare. Those that held such high ego in their minds that they did not even step foot onto the ground. Those that roared like bears and beat the drums of war. Those warriors fell to the ground upon being hit by the arrows of Shri Bhavani. Those warriors that had so much hankar, ego, those warriors that were so strong, they fell to the ground by the arrows of Bhavani. Now the strength of Chandi, Guru Sahib describes, they say, Tumari tur pare tumare tan tae nisachar loho katile. Demons whose bodies were filled with darkness of ego and were able to cut metal. Mechak pabban se jin ke tan koch sajje mat mat jatile. Those whose bodies were as big as mountains, intoxicated in their ego, wearing dreadlocks and covered in armor. Ram panne ate hiras so jag naik soran than thathile. They gave their Tukhalis naam here, their poet name, Ram. Ram says that they were filled with so much anger. Guru Sahib calls himself Ram, their Tukhalis naam. Tukhalis means their poet name. They say those that were filled with so much anger, they even wanted to fight God themselves. Te chat da patke chit paran kror pare haran singh rajile. Those warriors fell apart and were destroyed by Chandi, whose lion roars in the battlefield. Now Guru Sahib describes the Kripan of Chandi. They say, Totak chand jab hi kar lal kripan gahi nahe mohte pravat hi jat kahi. Chandi held the Kripan in her hands. I cannot describe the magnificence of that scene. Tehi tej lakhe patayo patke mano sur chadyo ud se chatke. The warriors ran with such speed, and the same way the stars disappear when the sun rises. Now Chandi in action. Kupakal kripan karang heka dal datan beach pare kahka. Kali, holding the sword in her hands, jumps to a crowd of enemies and proclaims, Kataka ek beach sabo han ho, tumte neh ek bali gan ho. I will destroy you all in one strike, and not even one warrior will leave alive. Guru Sahib is describing the battle of Chandi here. All these warriors have come to fight Chandi, but Chandi is fighting back and saying, all alone. Maharaj is describing the battle of Chandi here, describing the warriors are coming, Chandi is fighting. And the story of Chandi is, just simply put, is that the Devte, these angelic beings, they come seeking refuge from Ma Chandi. Why? Because they're being attacked by these dance. They're being attacked by these dance or demons, you can say. When the demons are attacking these angelic beings, they go to Chandi and they say, please help us, we're being attacked. Ma Chandi laughs and she says, I'll protect you. And this is a story that we read in Chandi Divar. And when Ma Chandi goes to fight the enemies, many different types of enemies come. Tumaranan, another one being Rakat Beej, Somba Nisom, these two generals, so on and so forth. There was so many generals and she beat everyone. She beat all these enemies, all alone, you know. It's describing describing the bravery of a woman. It's the very first Charitar. And they start off with a story of a woman. It's telling us that how brave a woman can be. The highest form of a woman is on a battlefield protecting those that couldn't protect themselves. And that is Ma Chandi. That is the story of Ma Chandi. And that is what Guru Sahib is teaching us to be. In spiritual form, we're all women. We're all females. According to the spirituality of Gurbani. Is jag mein purkh ek hai, hor sabni nar sabai. That there's only one Purush, there's only one male, and that is the creator. Everyone else is female. So in that way, Guru Sahib is telling us how brave we should all be. And if we take it from a social context, then Guru Sahib is telling a woman that you are not weak. Society is telling women that they are weak. Society is telling women that you need to be put down. But the Guru is saying, no, you are that one that will help save hundreds. You are the one that will save the Bhagats, the devotees, the Devte, the angelic beings will be saved by your hand. In so many ways, you can be the one that becomes like Ma Chandi. So in that way, the story of Chandi is really important. Now, in the next sections, Guru Sahib, before starting the project of Charitropakhyan, they do a ardas. They say, Dohra Antarya jo sindh ko chahtaran kar jao, bin noka kaise tarah le tiharo nao. They say if one wants to swim across a ocean, without the boat of your name, O Vaiguruji, without the kirpa of your grace, without your name, how can that individual cross over this world ocean? This analogy is given in Gurbani so many times, that this world is an ocean. And we need to cross over to the other side. Within this ocean is the vices, lust, anger, greed, attachment, pride. Without a boat, without a guider, person to drive the boat, how can we get on the other side? Mara saying that Naam, your name, Akal Purkh Vaiguruji, is that boat, is that dry road which will take us to the other side. Without you, one cannot expect, a spiritual seeker cannot expect to get salvation. Mook uchra shastra khat pingiran chad jaye, andalak hai badro suna jo tum karo sahai. They say, if you give your sport, Maharaj, then a mute can say the 6 shastras, can say all these different texts, and a cripple can climb a mountain. A blind can see and a deaf can hear. If you give your support, Maharaj, Guru Sahib is referring that they need the support of Vaiguruji in their nimrata, in their humility. Now, Dohra arga garb nripatriyan ko ped na payo jaye, to tihari kripa te kach kach kaho banaye. Maharaj says that no one knows the secrets of pearls, jewelry. Pearls is a type of jewelry that is found in the ocean floor. How are these pearls made? Where are they? How can you find them? It's a mystery. There's people like treasure hunters who look for treasure. There's people that hide their treasure in the ocean. It's such a big mystery. A mother's womb. A mother's womb is a big mystery. A king. The mind of a king is a mystery. A woman is a mystery as well. No one knows the secrets of these. Guru Sahib is giving an analogy here. It's a type of analogy that poets will give. They're stressing, they're going to be exploring a subject, but they're giving reference to other subjects as well. Maharaj is exploring Triyan. Triyan means a woman, or woman, plural. And they're saying that no one can find the mystery of a woman. No one can understand the mystery of a woman. And like we said, that a woman has the power to be Sataguni, or Rajaguni, or Tamaguni. A woman has the power to save the world, but a woman has the power to destroy the world as well. And Guru Sahib will be exploring everything in between. The heights that a human can reach, and the lowest depths that a human can reach as well. To kripa, to tihari kripa te kach kach kaho banai, O Akal Purkh Vaiguruji. This is Guru Sahib speaking. to Vaheguru Ji. They say, oh Vaheguru Ji, through your kirpa, through your grace, I will be able to explain this to some extent. Prathamaman tumko kaho jatha bodh bal hoy. Firstly, I'll remember you, Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, then use as much intellect as I have to continue with this literature. Kat kapata lakh kya kabehe, haas na kariyo koi. Maharaj says, O poets, referring to the readers, O intellectuals, O philosophers who come to read, don't laugh at my poetry if it is lacking. This is the words of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. In their nimrata, in their humility, they're telling to the reader, O poets, you can see who is their audience. The audience are poets, intellectuals, scholars. Today, we pick up Charitropakhyan not knowing any background, not knowing any context, and we start giving our own suggestions. But Charitropakhyan is for those who are educated, and you've come to the right place to educate yourself. This series will be about the education. Okay. Oh poets or readers, don't laugh at my poetry if it's lacking. Dohara Pratham Tyay Sri Bhagavati Barnotriya Prasanga. Maharaj says, after this first chapter, which was in the devotion of Bhagavati, of Ma Chandi, of Bhagavati, these are all synonyms I'm using, I will now speak about the collection of stories associated with Triya, associated with the woman. And Triya can also mean three. Triya can also mean Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Triya can also mean a woman as well. So Maharaj says, now I will speak the collection of stories associated with Triya, meaning Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Mo kat main tum hua nadi upjaho bak tarang. Maharaj speaking to Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji. They say, within my heart, please illuminate yourself as a river so that my words can be like waves. This is the ardas of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Dohara Pratham Tyay Sri Bhagavati Barnotriya Prasanga Mokat main tum hua nadi upjaho bak tarang. These are the last stanza before the next Charitar, which will be the very first tale, the very first story that we will encounter on this journey of Charitropakhyan. Sasangat Ji, I thank you. If you stayed to this end of this video, I thank you for joining me today in exploring the first Charitar. As you saw, Guru Sahib started off with the story of a woman who is so courageous, so brave, who fought for those that could not fight for themselves. And in that story, Guru Sahib also explored the metaphysical and the physical, the masculine and the feminine forms of Akal Purkh Vaheguru Ji, devoting themselves to that devotion. At the very end, they do a ardas before beginning this composition, and they also explain their need of explaining this composition, as in the stories, as in the world of Triya Charitar, the world of Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, the play of these three, literally what that Triya Charitar means. The story, the play of these three modes is a secret and has not been explored. Guru Sahib said, I will explore it. I will show the Satsangat, the Khalsa, the Kavis, those intellectual beings, these stories. So Satsangat Ji, please forgive us for our many mistakes. I hope you'll join me in the second episode where we'll explore Charitar number 2, the first tale of Charitropakhyan. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.